So ladies and gents, you can look back at 2020 a lot of my videos and I kept saying again and again and again that email marketing is a totally underutilized SMMA service, right? And that not enough people are offering it, especially for info products, so education company, coaching businesses, and e-commerce businesses, because they have so many leads. For example, in the education space, right? They have so many leads usually to a case study funnel, to a webinar funnel. And then for e-commerce businesses, they have all of these customers. And at the end of the day, anything that you can bring via email, for the most part, is net income. And if you take a little performance fee of that, and you can use tools like Klaviyo, and it's very easy to track a lot of the stuff, or Klaviyo, I should say, in its correct pronunciation. You can make big bucks, right? And Splash really is a testament to that. He's pulling in $60,000 a month with his agency, and he's been a member of Copy Paste Agency for a while, and he's really grown over the months. And I've kept pushing him month in, month out, and telling him that, like, dude, stick with your model, because it really can scale. And as I said, this student interview is going to be a testament to that. So I think you guys are in for a treat, as always. Down below, you can find the gadget giveaway winner for today, as well as a link to book in a call with Max to discuss the opportunity of joining Copy Paste Agency, and basically see whether you'd be a good fit for the program. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another student interview. We are here with Splash, who very graciously, came on here on the student interview, because just a couple of minutes ago he was out enjoying the Mexican sun, lounging out there. But well deserved, to be honest, because I remember we were on the CPA call last month when I was in Cape Town, and you jumped on as you usually do every Wednesday, and you started off. I remember this is after I took like a 2-week sabbatical, from my 21st birthday. And you start off and you were like, yeah, dude, big thank you. Went on and on. I guess basically the main point was that you're now at $60,000 a month profit. And we'll kind of get into what the numbers are specifically, because obviously you have it right in front of you. Just to be very to give some of the specifics, but there's a lot to cover here in terms of what you actually do, because it's very unique. I've been telling people this you can see student interviews literally 12 months ago where I'm like, yeah, guys, like, I think email marketing is a totally under pitched service. I think it's, there's so much potential there. And, you're really proof of it, doing $60,000 a month with an email marketing agency. And then we have a couple other interesting things to talk about, psychedelics being one of them.
For sure.
So, 100%. So yeah, you want to tell them a little bit about how long you've been, how long you've had an agency for, how you got into it, and then also, did you start off as an email marketing agency, or was that something you pivoted to?
So I started off in the online world through drop shipping, just like a lot of people. And when I was doing during the time I was doing drop shipping, I saw some success, not like the craziest success. I remember I had a clothing company, like a basketball related one. I had some drop shipping here and there. And all that allowed me to do was just build up skills. And that was the main thing, was like just acquire skills. And during this time, I was like trying to increase my revenue from my store any way I can, because I think one time my Facebook got blocked. So I was trying Instagram, and then when Instagram help from some people where, like, they taught me emails. Very interesting story. Yeah.
Flash, you just cut off real quick. You said when Instagram.
Oh, my Instagram influencers, when they were not making as and then basically the main thing was I had this skill, and how I started the agency was like complete accident. It was actually a funny story. There's this one kid, he was doing like $15,000 a day doing drop shipping, selling some product. And during this time, I was a broke kid. I was in high school. And I was like, shit, I want a piece of that pie, like whatever he's doing. I'm like, I kind of want to get involved with him one way or another, get a piece of the pie any way I can. So he wanted me to do some Facebook ads, but he's like, I'll pay you after you get some results. And I was like, I really want some money right now. So I was like, you know what? Hey, bro, I see that you're not doing any emails. I can set this up for you, and basically, like, this will help you with this, that, whatever. I'm just basically selling them on emails, and the main objective here is for me to make money, right? And during this time, I had like $500 in my bank account, and he's like, how much? And I was like, since he was making so much money, Like at that time, I would have really taken like $200, $300. But since he was making so much, I was like, screw it, 2 grand. And after a couple of back and forth, he agreed. And man, that 2 grand changed my whole life. Like, I put a down payment on my braces. I booked a flight to New York for this one event. It changed my whole life. But what actually happened was that month I made him 11 grand with emails. And I was like, oh shit, word. Like, he actually benefited from me actually doing this from him. And I was like, interesting. And, being in the drop shipping world and knowing a lot of people that do e-commerce, I realized that a lot of people were not doing email. So like just finding a problem in a market, the problem was that these e-commerce stores first were not aware of email marketing, or even if they were aware, they're not doing it. So just seeing that and understanding that, I'm like, what a perfect, what I can really, like, after I made that person 11,000, I was like, holy shit, I can do this to all my different e-commerce friends that run a brand and then don't do emails, because I know I can, like, provide some kind of results for them through with emails. And yeah, I've been running this since I was in high school, grade 12. So I was 18. I was 18. And then through the progress, kind of, I had some battles where I was just like getting shiny object syndrome. And every time I just went back to the agency and just focused on it, it grew. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go all in on this. I'm just going to focus on this. It grew. And then this year, or like the past year, I should say 2020, is when I really started focusing on building a team, really taking this more seriously. And now I got 10 employees, kind of actually, like, now my job is to really just create systems, making sure everything is straight, making sure things are getting done. And yeah, that's basically my story. It's like a brief story, but yeah, first finding a problem in the market, then providing a solution, providing a service to fix the solution, and then just kind of growing from there, and then just finding more. And then it's crazy, like you said, there's so many e-commerce stores that are probably not even aware of emails or not doing emails. So it's just like a perfect thing, because there was a demand for it, and there was not that many people in the market kind of like flooding or like selling email services. So that allowed me to get a lot of success early on.
Incredible. So to give people some context, I believe the exact number was it in December, it was 66.7 or something like that?
No, 66 in December in revenue, so 60,000 profit because my expenses are low. In November, I'm gonna give you the exact number. It was 58.9, and it was funny. In the month before that was like 14.9. So literally, like, exponential growth on the revenue side for the last 2 months of Q4.
So December, 66,000 in revenue, at least. And, to give some people some context, you work with 21 clients. So we can kind of extrapolate from that, roughly a bit over $3,000 a month billable per client. Can you kind of break down what your pricing model is for your clients? Is it base plus some performance fee? What does that performance fee look like? How is that performance fee tracked?
For sure. So I do it a bit different than a lot of people, whether it be retainer and such. So since it's emails, I really like to do performance-based pay, especially if they're not already doing it. And a lot of people kind of like, so we really aim for, like, our target market is, I guess, people that are not that aware of email marketing, or not, like, aware of it, not doing it because they're so busy with like Facebook ads, customers, suppliers, all this stuff. And how I do my pricing is I have an onboarding fee, because for emails, at least e-commerce, you have to set up a lot of sequences. So just an onboarding fee, and then after that, we just do a performance-based pay. And that performance-based pay, it will really depend on their performance. If a store is doing like $1 million in a month, and we know we can get them a lot of revenue, of course, I'll go lower on the performance-based. But if it's they're still doing good numbers and they're not doing much, so the performance, it ranks anywhere from 10 to 20% of the email revenue that we bring in from them. And the onboarding fee, it will, even that will depend, depending on how many stores they have, how big their store is. If I notice that, okay, they're a big store, we can probably generate a lot of revenue for them, then I won't even sometimes like care about the onboarding fee, because I understand the back end is like, oh, we can build them 5 figures a month, so I don't even want to, I don't really care. So but yeah, but my main when I started off, what I used to do was like, all right, bro, give me 2 grand, I'll do everything for you. And then what happened was, this one store that paid me 2 grand, I made them 100 grand in like 2 months. And I was like, damn, like, it would be nice to have a piece of that, because they're not doing shit. I got it for them. And a lot of them would honestly probably even be down for it, because there's like almost like a little incentive, it's like, and I tell them, you only pay me if I get you paid. And yeah, once I switched to that model, that's when my business really started scaling, because that's when I was able to get like, this is a crazy shit. Like most people, like I haven't shared, but like one time from one client, I made 38 grand. You know what I mean? For 1 month work, like 38K. And that was because I was, doing the performance-based pay versus yeah, pay me 2K and I'll do everything for you. So switching to that really, really helped me, and really helped me kind of grow. And it actually made it easier for me to sell as well to people, because if it's performance-based pay, I'm like, hey, listen, like I can't bill you a large amount if I don't make you a large amount at the end of the month, right? So most people agreed with that. And yeah, a lot of times I just try to, those are the deals I go for, performance-based pay, because I think it also has like an incentive for us to work harder for the clients as well.
Mm, yeah, totally makes sense. Now, you mentioned that you have a team of 10. Obviously, that's quite large.
Yeah.
So, well, first of all, what do they do? Second, where do you find them?
For sure. So before, the way I was handling clients and how I was working with the workflow was, I would have just like I would have an account manager, and they'll handle a couple of clients, accounts, and they'll do the email for them. And then I switched from that to a more assembly line type of like a team where, for emails, like there's a different aspect, which is the copy, the design, and the strategy. And so I kind of made an assembly line where it's like, okay, I got some copywriters, I got some world class designers, and I got like strategists and people that kind of overlook everything and make sure everything is straight, and like people that like look over the analytics. So in 10 people, I got 3 designers, 3 copywriters, I think 2 strategists, and no, 3 strategists, or people like it's more detailed, but basically like, people have their like they do one specific thing, and I have one like analytics person, that just literally looks at analytics for every client and tells the person that is in charge of managing the campaigns, and the person that is in charge of managing the campaigns, the campaigns get built out by the copy and then the designer. So it's like a little assembly line of work. That's why I have 10 employees. And I've been finding my employees, I'm a big believer in hiring overseas. When it comes to certain work, I screen them, make sure they can speak good English, first of all, make sure they're competent. And next is I just look at their work. Some of my graphic designers, they're literally world class. And if I was to hire someone from Canada or US, they'll probably cost me a couple of thousands a month. But, they're now costing me way less than that. So I leverage platforms like Upwork, onlinejobs.ph, and even a huge thing, actually, tip to anyone that running an agency is like, ask your workers if they do know anybody that is looking for work, right? So my actual copywriter went out of our way and found 2 really amazing copywriters for me. And she actually did all the screening. She interviewed a bunch of people, and I only talked to the top 3 applicants. And, I hired 2 of the top 3 applicants, and they've been amazing for me. So leveraging just like different things. But for me, the best has definitely been leveraging my workers to bring in other workers that they kind of vouch for.
Yeah, great tip there. For another business outside of GrowYourAgency that I'm invested in right now, we got 5 developers working on the project. And the last 3 developers we found, once again, was through the network of one of our developers, and he on-ramped them, trained them, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, very, very well said there. So it seems like you were really just kind of going back a quick sec. It seemed like for a year or 2 years, a couple years, like you were just teetering along, up, down, like it was pretty flat line, before you had your explosive growth in, towards the tail end of 2020. So can you break down from a timeline perspective what 2020 was like? Because I know you mentioned in 2020, you're like, all right, shit, every time I focus on the agency, good things happen. And I block out, I have horse blinders to everything else. So going into 2020, what did that look like for you? And then
For sure.
if you can also touch on one of the big aspects or reasons you believe you had that exponential growth, and what exactly that lesson was.
For sure, for sure. And so going into 2020, I was still a one-man team, and I think I had one person helping me out. And I remember I was in Colombia end of January, and I was trying to enjoy myself, and have fun with my friends. But like I like little headaches, like from the clients and such. And I'm like, what is this? Like, this is not a way. Like, I'm basically a slave to my business. I'm like making money, but I kind of have to be here for this. And knowing that, and even in February, it was the same thing, just having different issues, and then like me realizing I have to deal with it. And as I'm trying to get more clients, realizing that I can't handle it all. During, I think around the start of April is when I started really investing in like, okay, I need a team. I need to start learning about team building and systems and such. So I kind of started doing that, built a team around it, started working on the business rather than working in the business. And then moving forward, I was just kind of like, going on with that team. But what was also happening on my end is that like my focus was everywhere else. I was just focused on my course business, or I'm trying to do stocks, and I'm trying to do this and that. And I realized that every time and this is happening like for the whole time I'm at my agency, always getting sidetracked in a way where like, as they call it, this shiny object syndrome, always getting sidetracked and such. But I realized like it's like a common theme I realized in the last 2 years. Every time I say, screw everything, let me focus on this agency and let me build this, it just grows. And so from April till October, I had this team, they were getting the work done. And even on my personal life, I think I was just getting very complacent, like, very, very, very complacent, not trying to do much. And in October, I remember the date exactly, October 25th, I had a psychedelic trip. I took some shrooms, and holy shit, that changed my whole like perspective on like just everything.
Was that
Disclaimer.
or in a group?
Pardon?
Was that on your own?
Oh,
Or?
alone. A lot of times I do psychedelics. I like to do it alone for some reason. I don't know if it's just me, but I rather
Better that way.
But yeah. So I've done psychedelics multiple times before. First time I did it was 18. It changed my whole outlook on life. The first time I did it, it made me realize what I truly want versus don't want. And I've had different experiences with psychedelics that really like kind of helped me become more grateful, become happy for no reason, like attached to nothing. And even earlier in 2020, I think the first psychedelic trip I had, which was in January, that helped me just understand the concept of greatness and made me realize like what I can actually reach. That's another whole story. But this one in October, how it started off crazy, and it was interesting. So it started off crazy, and in my mind, my stomach was hurting because of the shrooms. So like my mind was going crazy, and I was like just thinking, oh my god, my life sucks. Like, I like, this is like a prison. What am I doing in Miami? Like what's going on? Like I hate this, I hate that. I just knew I was not operating at my best. And then towards the end, I think I forgot, like a lot of things happened, but basically I started thinking about all the people that actually show me genuine love in my, like, this is different than business, but like I was thinking about all the people that show me genuine love, like that's not attached to anything. And I started thinking that when I was freaking out, because mentally this is the worst, like the craziest thing I've ever gone through. The first 2 hours of the trip, when my stomach was hurting and I was going crazy. But then I started thinking of all the people that show me like genuine love, and then my mood started just getting way better. And out of nowhere, I'm feeling euphoric in the span of like 5 minutes, and everything's like hits me like objectively. I'm like, holy shit, like I'm 20 years old, I'm in Miami and never got to go to school, don't got to work on an essay. I grew up really poor, so I was like even thinking about like, oh my god, my parents don't have to go through the same issues again. And I'm just looking at everything. I was like, holy, I've done all this, that. And I was just so much more grateful. And I just kept on saying to myself, like, man, I got to be the best version of myself every day. Like every day, it's a choice for me to be the best version of myself. And from that day onwards, I was just like back on my shit, just on it, like every day, just grinding. And I even went back to Toronto, and I was just really, really working. And the main thing was I was just all into my business, looking to improve every day, get better. And I was just finding out, I was just going for it. That's the best way to explain it. But the whole shift of like understanding that, it's a choice for me to be the best version of myself every day, like really changed everything for me. And even understanding that everything is perspective, is like, there's no worry in my head. Like it's all perspective. It's only gonna hurt me if I allow it to hurt me. Like all these like, and I was reading a lot of philosophical books then too, but like when I took it, like everything just hit. I'm like, oh, like this is what Epictetus meant when he said this. So I was just getting a lot of different lessons. But yeah, the main thing was just me understanding that, okay, I got to be the best version of myself every day, and just knowing, okay, what that is. And realizing that, okay, I really got to take my business seriously. Seeing that if I was to continue in the path I was going, it's probably going to destroy it. Not probably, it was going to destroy my business. And yeah, just worked hard, got clients, built this in 3 weeks, built, like, just kind of moved to this, like I said, rather than having one person manage all the clients, moved into this assembly line flow of work, which actually helped our clients, because the quality of work got better. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons why we got the results as well. Is like, I was really just focusing on, you know what, how can we provide the best service? Okay, better designers. I want better copywriters. I want better strategists, people that are actually going to, care about the clients. And I think that was what really brought the results. But the thing that triggered it was that trip when I started thinking, okay, I got to be better, man. I got to start being better.
Wow. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, she can't even explain, she can't even explain, but I'm very, very grateful for that, because otherwise I think I would not be where I am. I definitely was going through a decline, and right now I'll probably be still complacent, okay with like 14 grand a month, 15 grand a month, but just understanding that, okay, I deserve better, I can do better, and then working towards that really helped me.
So out of curiosity, when you were going through that complacency period, was it a case of you don't know what you don't know, or was it a case of you knew you could do more and you knew what you had to do to get where you wanted to be, but you just, it was almost a sense of apathy that you were like, actually, I'm kind of just fine here?
Yeah, I think it was the second one. Is like a bit of both. I wasn't going out of my way of getting better. I wasn't learning, I was just chilling, like doing nothing with my life. Like I will do the bare minimum to not get in trouble, in a sense. You know what I mean? It's like, just like, okay, like this needs to get, okay, I'll do it, but I'll take a long time. I'm not going out of my way to learn. I'm not going out of my way of looking at things to improve and such. Like, after that trip, when I actually went inside of my business, I was like, holy shit, like there's so much to be fixed here. The whole time I was so hands off, I thought everything was fine. But when I actually went in, I was like, oh my God, there's problems here, there's problems here, there's problems here. And I just went in and solved that. But it was definitely the latter, where I was just very complacent, just kind of like not doing much really, yeah, like, I don't even know what led to this. I think it was just like just months and months, just like losing discipline and then getting away from this. A huge thing was not meditating. That's why meditation's a non-negotiable for me now. Like being present is like so important. Otherwise, I realize like I can drift to that part by just kind of like, thinking, overthinking, being overwhelmed and such.
Well, when you say meditation's a non-negotiable, what's been kind of the vital dose for you? Does that mean 10 minutes a day? Does that mean 20 minutes, an hour?
So I try to do twice a day. So right when I wake up, I try to meditate right away. And then after that, midday as well. Because what I notice is that, like, if I meditate in the day, my mornings will go awesome, but then I'll start getting tired, and then I'll start like kind of feeling like weary and stuff. So I kind of got to do a second one almost to like almost reset. And yeah, but I do 2 meditations. I read this book, my mentor recommended to me. It's called Stress Less and Accomplish More by Emily Fletcher. And that book was really, really helpful as well, where her style of meditation, it's where you just like, I guess, like repeat a word in your mind. You stay present, just repeat a word. And I found that out to be very helpful. Help like my past, like just thoughts I was getting, because it was so easy for me to kind of get like all these negative thoughts and go in down like a rabbit hole. And then now like I'm like depressed because I just thought myself to depression, and but that when I meditate, that doesn't happen. And that's why it's like a non-negotiable, because like even this weekend, one day I forgot, and towards the end of the day, I just felt so like down, and I was like, this is exactly why. Because when I meditate, when I'm on my shit, I don't feel this way.
For sure. That's awesome. Well, dude, I think we covered a pretty good wide variety of stuff in this student interview. I appreciate you being so candid and just so open and willing to share a lot of stuff that I know a lot of people or some people will be very tentative to. So yeah, I really, really appreciate it. And you're what, 20 years old?
Yeah, turning 21 in 2 weeks.
20 years old, making $60,000 a month profit with your agency. You'll be at 100 profit by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, right now in the process where like I think I forgot the concept. I saw it somewhere. I think it was Sam Ovens talked about. Is like what's it called? Like scale, debt, and mess or whatever. So something like that. And when we had those 2 crazy months, like I also understood, okay, like the problem scaling too quick. So I was even okay with taking a quick step back. Okay, it doesn't matter if we make less revenue, but getting the feedback from those 2 months, improving the systems, and understanding that, all right, we can actually reach 100K a month faster if we just take a step back. So just in the process of doing that right now, improving the team, making sure everything is straight. So when it is time to reach the 100K a month, like we can reach it without it being chaotic and without it being like overwhelming and, me stressing.
For sure. Awesome, dude. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.